Alright, thank you Martha from Studio One at TV. I am ANDI SANTOSO now reporting live from Masamba, North Luwu district in South Sulawesi to report about the latest situations of the flash flood that happened in this area. Well, Martha, the flash flood triggered by torrential rain that occurred in this area has made the overflowing of Masamba, Rangkong and also Rada River. That is also followed by the flash flood that happened around the slope of the Mount Lero heading to Rada River. According to the information we have got from North Luwu Disaster Mitigation Agency, as of today, the death toll has reached 24 people, while the other 69 residents reportedly are still missing. Not only impacted that kind of situations, but the flooding also affected 4,000 families, consisting of 15,994 people, and also forced 156 families, comprising 650 people, to flee to higher grounds. Martha, beside the floods also swam 4,930 homes, swept away 10 houses and also damaged a bridge, which including 213 houses, a military office and also roads that were buried by the sand and also the mud that the height is up to 3 meters. Right now, Martha, as you can see behind me, that the rescue team helped by the local residents are still trying to find the missing people that are still being trapped by the flood and the landslide. And according to the update, that 24 people have been found and all of them have been died. Besides, the Regional Disaster Mitigation Agency, also helped by the military personnel, also have been deployed to help in searching the missing people. One of the obstacles facing by them is about the weather, because right now the conditions is going to be rainy season, so that is why this is also becoming the problem in the evacuations process. Martha, on the other hand, South Sulawesi Governor Nurdin Abdullah and Public Works and Public Housing Basuki Hadi Mulyono also just observing several areas impacted by the disaster, that the governor also has boarded the Indonesian military helicopter to see the detailed conditions of the dangers of the disaster zone from above. Besides, the Minister Hadi Mulyono also has visited Masamba, one of the area that got a huge impact from this disaster, that he also seeing the details of the road and also the bridges that has been broken because of the disaster. And in line with these conditions, so now to know further, I would like to interview the head of Regional Disaster Mitigation Agency of North Luwu District. With me now, Mr. Muslim Muhtar. Alright, so Mr., how's the evacuations process right now?
So first, the government listed several places where the flood occurs to send logistical aids. So the government also has provided several evacuation tents and also emergency kitchens to help supplying food for a victim.
So all the equipments needed by the flood victims have been provided by the government. But then, as we know that North Luwu is one of the wide areas, so how's the government strategy in to make the evacuations process easier?
So the best strategy that we use now is that we collaborated with several parties, such as National Police, National Rescue Agency, and volunteers to find out the spots that considered that have many casualties.
So in collaborations with several parties in order to make the evacuations process easier. But then how about the obstacle now?
So we got a lot of obstacles. The first is that the government or the rescue team didn't have any data of missing people. In addition, the field condition were also quite difficult, where the high rain, and also the mud that have almost reached the top of the house, that electricity, telecommunication were also down, that make it difficult for rescue team to in evacuation process.
So the data of the missing person is not fixed yet. So how if the residents that their families are missing would like to report?
We have put several disaster posts in many areas, so for society to report if they lost their family members.
So through post disaster that have been provided. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Muslim Muhtar, as the head of Regional Disaster Mitigation Agency of North Luwu. Martha, in addition that right now this disaster has not impacted the area of Masamba, but also hit Sabang, Baibunta, South Baibunta, Malangke, and West Malangke. And for the refugees that are impacted by this disaster also have been guided into several locations. That the government also has built 20 temporary shelters for flood victims. Not only that, the government also appealed to the society who lives around the locations of the disaster to watch out, because the Regional Disaster Mitigation Agency predicted that there will be following a flood that is going to occur in the next 5 days. Martha, and on the other side, because now we also are facing the COVID-19 pandemic, so the government also appeal and also implemented health protocols in refugee camps in order to avoid or prevent the spread of the coronavirus. As well, the medical teams who have need to prove the documents that they are negative from COVID-19. Besides Martha, the flood victims are still need food assistance and then portable sanitation devices and heavy equipment to clean the flood areas or the flood affected areas. So that is why we also would like to remind you that we are still waiting your participations. Like you can share your donations like food, drink, clothes, and many more through Net Charity program. Well, that was all the information that I can give to you related to the flood disaster that happened in North Luwu district. Martha, back to you in studio.